Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you reside. Welcome to a new series on Voyage Beyond Earth. This week in the news, there was a lot of interesting stories, ranging from the fiery fury of Trump towards North Korea to Usain Bolt's last race that alas he could not win. Google faced backlash this week for trying to silence freedom of speech by firing an employee who was apparently dissatisfied with the biases in the company. And Apple removed VPN from the Chinese app stores. Thanks, Apple. But you're most likely here to get the weekly review of tech news and have no interest in these politicians and their worlds. So let's get on with it, with 6 pieces of news from this week that really interested me. The first article of today comes from Robotics, a company that is bringing us closer to Robocop. The OR3 is a completely autonomous outdoor security robot that's able to quickly detect obstacles, recognize faces, and detect unattended objects. This robot is unable to arrest criminals on the spot, but it would surely deter crime by just being there. It has vast capabilities, including perimeter monitoring and outdoor detection. However, one of the most exciting features is its drone system that is activated whenever an intruder has entered an area where the robot itself cannot go. It can work 24/7, and as soon as the batteries reach a critical level, it automatically directs itself to the nearest charging station, which will most likely be a police station. Robotics' first client is the Dubai Police, where they hope to deliver their first self-driving police car by the end of the year. By the year 2020, the streets of Dubai will be monitored by over 100 robots. The company, however, has said that the bot itself is not aimed to replace the police force, but rather to complement them. It's nice to see that not all robots want to take over the world. If you have been on this channel since the beginning, the first video I ever made was about black holes. However, I did not talk about primordial black holes. Proposed in 1971 by physicist Stephen Hawking, the existence of primordial black holes is still debatable. These black holes were said not to be formed by gravitational collapse, the manner in which the rest of the black holes are formed, but rather by an ancient phenomena that was close to the start of space and time, the Big Bang. This week, a new study was published in the Physical Review Letters that claimed that these yet unproven objects could have created heavier elements. Our present understanding of fusion tells us that elements after iron use more energy in fusing than they give out in the fusion reaction. Hence, stars do not produce heavier metals. However, in a supernova, the death of a star, temperatures could reach high enough to produce these heavier elements. The new explanation, however, claims that these high-mass objects, the primordial black holes, may have been the first creators of gold and other heavier elements around you. So the next time you enter a jewelry store, think about the origins of gold and silver in that store. The next story is of Deep Loco, or dynamic locomotion skills using hierarchical deep reinforcement learning. Last month, Google made headlines when its AI was able to learn how to walk by just being given information on its surrounding and a goal. This week, another AI, Deep Loco, is able to learn, dribble a football, and traverse narrow paths. If we give this AI a body, maybe Robotics' Robocop would not be such a bad idea. The next piece of news comes from Google. It seems that everyone is cherry-picking their favorite features from Snapchat and incorporating it in their app or company. Google now plans to launch Stamp, an app that replicates the Snapchat Discover feature. Snapchat Discover helped users scroll through events around the world and look at news articles. Snapchat even had some creators hosting their own shows and had ads to create revenue for the company and its creators. Google seemed to like the idea, and with no solid protection from any copyright claims, it has announced the launch of Stamp by early next week. Google steps into yet another field. It seems like every week there is bound to be some significant progress in gene editing. This week in the news were pigs. Yes, scientists have been able to remove certain strands of disease-inducing viruses from pig organs, and if treated properly, compatible matches could be found between pigs and humans. That may not seem like the best idea, but in 2016 there were nearly 120,000 people on organ transplant waitlist, while only about 30,000 were donated, a fraction of which weren't even used due to the organ's short lifespans. Hopefully, further research into this field could yield promising results from the hundreds of millions of pigs that could potentially save hundreds of millions of human lives. The last piece of news is from TESS, or the Transiting Exoplanet Service Satellite. As Curiosity celebrates its 5th anniversary this week on Mars, mankind continues to make strides to becoming interplanetary. In preparations for its launch in 2018, TESS got mounted with 4 cameras this week that will look at over 200,000 stars to try and find exoplanets. That's all the news from this week. If you did like the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more in the coming weeks, don't forget to click subscribe. I will see you next week with another video by Voyage Beyond Earth.